Okay, today we're going to go over area again. Yesterday we introduced area, and who can tell me what we learned about area yesterday? I'll give you a couple seconds to think. Think about what we did yesterday, the brain pop video, the squares on the board, the squares that we put in our journal. What did we learn about area?
That you
count the squares on the
you count the squares on the chart.
On the inside of the shape, remember? Okay, so basically that's what we're going to do today. You see a bunch of squares here on number 1. We've also learned that you can do rows times columns, right? Kind of like an array. For area, they actually call it length times width. So A equals length times width. That is the same thing as rows times columns. Okay, so let's look at number 1. We're going to do a few together, and then you guys will do the rest on your own. Number 1 says Rodolfo's chessboard is marked with black and white squares. What is the area of Rodolfo's chessboard? So they want to know the whole board, not just the black, not just the white, all of it. Okay, it is a square. So what could I do instead of having to count every single box inside here? What could I do to make it quicker, Javea?
There's 8 and 8 times, so you just count by 8.
Okay, good. So she said, so you counted how many squares were in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then she said she was going to count by 8s. But we need to see how many times we need to count. So now we count the squares going down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would be 8 times 8. Does anybody know what 8 times 8 is? Well, we know it can't be 16, right? Okay.
I think it's 64.
Yeah, it's 64.
You think it's 64? Okay.
Yeah, that's why
It is 64. So 8 times 8 is 64.
Well, I do want to be 30.
Okay. If we weren't sure, then what would we have to do? We would have to go back and do what? Count all of these squares. Okay, number 2. The design below shows the tile pattern in Sarah's bathroom. The shaded part is red and the unshaded part is white. What is the area of the white part of the design? Okay, so what could we do on this one? I want to know just the area of the white part. And it tells me up here, the unshaded part is white. What could I do, Allie?
I want to know.
instead of counting all the whites, we could put it in equal.
What do you mean, put it in equal?
Put it in equal.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Like
You mean pretend like this is in here? Pretend like it's one big square? Okay. Yes, we could do that. So we could actually count the rows and the columns. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we count going across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is 6 times 6?
11.
6 times 6 is 36. It rhymes. Okay? But I know it can't be 36 because I have these 4 in the middle. What do I need to do with these 4 in the middle? Kelsey?
Add
of them because they're not white.
So you would.
Because when I did 6 times 6, I found the area of this whole part, including that. But I can't count these 4 in the middle because they're not white. So what do I need to do with that?
You would subtract.
You have to subtract. Good. So I need to take out the 4 that are not white. 36 minus 4 is 32. Okay? How can I check? It's not there, but how can I check to make sure? Because sometimes they put not here, there, and it really is here. So I want to just make sure I didn't mess up somewhere. So what can I do to go back and double check? Count all the white squares. So I said there was 6 here going across. So I'm going to start on the second row and I'm going to say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Allie, can you be quiet, please? 31 and 32. So were we correct?
Yes.
Yes, 32 is what we got. So not here. Okay, are you following along? Gregory, it doesn't look like you are. You need to pay attention. Number 3. Below is a diagram of a park. The shaded section represents a pond in the park. So we're just looking at the shaded part. What is the area of the pond? Okay. Notice all of our answers have square feet, square inches, because we're talking about area. Okay, so now I look at this pond, and it's not a perfect square or rectangle, so I can't do the rows times columns. What would I do on this one? Brandon?
You would count the squares, not the 6 squares that is a half of a square. I think.
We do need to count the half of the squares, but I'm going to show you what we do with the half squares. So why don't we start with the half ones first? I want you to take your pencil and go through and circle wherever you see a half of a square shaded. Did we find them all?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we got them all. Here's 1 over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I had 6 half squares, or 6 halves. So it's actually going to be half of that. 6, what is half of 6? 3. So 6 halves actually equals 3 whole squares. Or like Kaylee was about to say, she said you can put these two together and that would make 1 whole square. So 2 of them is 1 whole. 4 of them is 2 wholes. 6 of these halves would be 3 wholes. You just combine the halves to make 1 whole square.
I still don't do.
Okay? So a half square you can combine with another half to equal 1 whole. So you can think of this as 1 whole right here. 2 of those put together. Here's a half and here's a half. So that makes 2. Here's a half and here's a half. So that makes 3 wholes. So 6 half squares is going to equal 3 wholes. Okay? And now we need to go back and count all of the whole squares. Okay? So what I would do is make a dot inside each one and count, making sure I don't skip any. How many did we get? We're still counting?
31. I hate this.
It's just counting squares. You're not counting the half squares, Kelsey, yet. We're only counting the whole ones. Only counting the whole squares, guys. So here, let's just do it with me. Everybody go and look at the board right now. Stop counting. Okay? I'm not counting these ones we've already done, okay? Just ignore those for now. We're only counting the complete squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 35, but then we need to make sure we add the halves. So what's 35 plus 3?
37.
No.
48.
38. 38 square feet for the pond. So C would have been your correct answer. Okay, all you're doing is counting squares. And when you get to the halves, what did we have to do with our halves? What did we have to do with the halves? Bryson? Put them together. Good. All right, I want you guys to try number 4 on your own. Okay, try number 4. Let's go ahead and look at this one together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just shade in the halves to make sure I don't count those to begin with. This time I'm just going to do them at the end. Sometimes it's hard to just find the halves, so you need to look carefully because they're kind of all mixed in around here. So shading them will make them kind of stand out to where we don't accidentally count them as a whole. And also make sure we count all of the halves. So if you did not shade the halves, go ahead and do that to make sure that you are counting every one and you didn't skip one. All right, can y'all see that? Okay, so let's just count the squares and make sure we did that part right. So I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to work my way down, going in order. So here's 1, 2, and don't count with me, just sit there and watch and listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. 74 holes. Okay, now I need to go back and count my halves. So 2 of these is going to equal what? A hole. So there's 1 hole.
2 holes.
So this would be 1 together. These 2 would be 2. You'll see that? I can put these 2 together to make 3. and these two together to make 4. So 74 plus 4 more would be 78. Okay, so C was correct. Okay, all right, let's flip the page. Okay, number 1 on the back. Rocchio drew a design. The shaded design is shown below. What is the area of Rocchio's design? So we're doing the same thing. You guys want to try it on your own?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
try it on your own and then we'll count them together to see if you got them correct. All right, let's check and see what you got. So I'm going to go through, find my halves. First, you can either shade them in or just circle. I see 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 halves. Okay, now I'm going to go through and count all my holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 holes. And now I go back to my halves. We combine 2 of them to make 1. There's another 2, and we put 2. And these 2 combine to make 3. So 40 plus 3 more would be 43. C was correct. Okay, let's do one more. Let's actually just skip to number 3.
Can I read it?
It says, the following design was used on the outside wall of the mall. What is the area of the part of the design that is not shaded? Okay, so what are we going to be counting this time?
The white.
The white. Good. Kelsey, is that what you were going to say? Good. So count the white and tell me what you get. Okay. What did you guys get?
44.
44. Good. I could have counted every square one by one, which I did the first time. Then the second time I went back and I saw groups that were the same on the corners. I had 4 groups of 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. I had 2 groups of 4, which is 8. And then I had 12 left over in the middle. So I just added all those numbers up. 24, 8 for these 2, and then 12 for the ones left over in the middle, and I still got 44 the second time. Okay, so I solved it 2 different ways to make sure I was counting correctly. That is something you can do. Either count it twice or go back and count it a different way the second time, and make sure you got the same answer both times. Okay, all right, how do we feel? Does it feel easy now?
Awesome. A little bit. Awesome.
Okay, so I would suggest going through each problem twice, okay? I know we think it's easy just counting squares, but we get mixed up, we miscount accidentally, we make simple mistakes, and we get our answer wrong, okay? So just make sure that you're going through each one and counting it twice, just to be sure, okay? Now you can tear this front page off. This is the only part I need turned in. The other part that we did together, you can put in your take-home folder. Okay? Are there any questions before you start on your own?
This is hard.
Okay, do the front and the back. I'm actually giving you the easier page of the two. We did the harder ones together. So this page should be easier, okay?